Hi everyone, welcome to my Shoreline Studio. I'm Sybil Muschik. Behind the camera is Joshua Blog. Today we're talking about cyanotypes. One of the YouTube people that I've met, Nitsa Malik, who has lots of books out there on photographic processes, asked us if we would do a video on exposing a cyanotype through paper rather than, this is a transparency. And this is sort of what we've been working with, or directly, as in these ones, placing objects such as grasses and feathers and things. This is tatting, by the way. And then exposing it to sunlight. This was exposed about 15 to 20 minutes, something like that. And it gave us a fairly good result. If it's overexposed, it's too dark. To begin with, we just use this Novang paper. They have 80 papers in the kit, and half of them unfortunately come without being in the black plastic bag, but they seem to be able to be exposed. Maybe it takes a little longer, but I would recommend put them in a black plastic bag right away, and you can probably use them as well. So the other way is to use chemicals. This is potassium ferrocyanide and ferric ammonium citrate. Not so easy to say. Anyway, it comes in powder form. You add 100 milliliters of water, shake it up good, and then I think you leave it overnight to process it, and then you can then combine them the next day. So 24 hours you wait. And then you would use equal amounts of both and keep it small because it goes a long way. And maybe 10 milliliters of one and 10 milliliters of the other. Mix them together. Coat your paper with a good brush or a sponge brush. Back and forth, up and down, sideways, whatever. Then leave it to dry in a dark place, and then once it's dry, then you can use it. You can put things on it, or you can use the transparency of an image you have. And you have to put this through the computer. You have to enhance the contrast considerably, and you have to make a negative out of it. So there's a process in your computer that will do that. Photoshop, other programs out there will do that process. I think we used GIMP, right, Josh? Yeah. So Nitsa also recommended doing a test strip, and that helps with getting it just right. And this is with the negative on acetate, 30 minutes, and it's not enough. 60 is not enough. Looks like 90 is just about right. And then 120 is overexposed. So we did this at a height of about 15 centimeters from my grow light, which I have, which is a UV light, a good UV light. And it's much more difficult to do it outside for a test strip because the sun keeps going. And you could have clouds, all sorts of variables. So I think to get a better result is to use a UV light of some kind. So the best one, this one is slightly overexposed. If you see that it's a bit darker here, this one is pretty well right. And this is 3 hours. It's slightly overexposed. There should be a little bit more white up in the hills here. So then we did it on paper, and here's the paper, and that's what we use to expose our little sheet. This is one that's sort of been exposed, so that gives you the size. And then we just, there's two ways of doing it. You can put it in this way, and it'll give you a reverse image to that, or you can put it directly like this, and that gives you. And this is reversed anyway. So to do it, then you put it on here. And that's sort of the way you do it. This is, Josh invented this little contraption here. There is a proper one that's it has pieces on the back that hold everything in place, and it's with glass, and it's a nice wooden contraption. I don't think you need to go to that much trouble if you're just doing cards and things like that. So we just did this for small images, and then we'll make another one up if we want to do something a little bit bigger. So today I wanted to do more of a graphic image. This is pretty small for detail. And by the way, this is the Pothole Ranch, the one that where we had a tremendous slide in the Chilcotin. It stopped up the Chilcotin River, and then it took a few days for the river to work its way through the slide. And it just took everything, trees, and even this old heritage site just got swept into the river. So we were very upset about this. We had done some photographs, a good photo shoot in the area, and I have been in previous videos, and we can list them in the description below, that, I think we did a root cellar, and we did a downward view of the Pothole Ranch and so forth. And, it's a shame to have lost it. So to do it some honor, we're working on this. But today we're going to be using a more graphic image because viewers, would like to see it a bit better. And we're using my Himalayan orchids that are growing profusely in my yard that I keep pulling out. And we also did a short on them because they have explosive seeds. And if you touch the end, they go poof. We had a lot of fun with that, and it's got quite a few views. Check that out. Anyway, off we go, and we're going to start on using that image for a cyanotype, but first we'll do the gel plate work, and then we'll go from there. So we'll go to an interlude, and then we'll start on that. So I have an image here of our Himalayan orchids, and right now they're producing lots of seeds. They're a bit of an invasive plant. Keep them contained if you can, because they'll spread all over the place, and they take up a lot of water. So I don't mind them because I have lots of water because we water from the lake, and I just pull them out where I don't want them. But just be warned, this is, quite a prolific plant. But they are extremely beautiful. So here's a live one. Now let's put that over here so you can see. All right. So this is the shape of them. Like they're sort of like a double and very orchid-like, like a regular big orchid. And the bees love to go on in the inside there. This is the shape of the seeds. Now, at a certain point, if you push the seeds and they're mature, they will actually explode. We're going to be doing a short on that, and they actually make you jump. It's quite a lot of fun. Good for kids. They really shriek and jump and laugh, and so yeah, so it's worthwhile for that. But in order to draw from these, they're a little bit too small for me. So I've just put it on my inkjet printer, and it does have nice color. We're going to be doing it in red, which should be graphic enough so that we can do a good black and white. So we're going to give it a shot, see if we can draw this. Again, when you're drawing, give yourself some leeway. Like how big the size is, right? So, and give yourself some breathing space at the bottom. and estimate how wide and long this thing is. So let's just give it some marks here. And how big you can, you know, sight size it to some degree. They're about the same width, and then this is maybe a third more. So give yourself a little measuring thing. You can use something like this. This is the length. I'm just going to do it entirely by the size that we have. And then mark it. And the height. From there to there. You'll have to sort of gauge where that middle is. And then mark it. And then from this point to that point. It's there. And we've got that established, so so that's pretty good. And then just mark it. So this gives you a really rough outline of the size. This will be a very rough drawing, but you'll get the idea. It's all about the process today, so whether we can create a cyanotype from a graphic image. And it really gives you some confidence, you know, when you know how big and long this thing is. Here's the second petal. And this bows out here. There's sort of an inner with a gap. Inner, I don't know what the heck you would call it. And the outside edge. And these sort of go. Now we'd sort of underestimated from there to there. So I'm just going to pull them around to here. And that works too. And then there's a little leafy thing here. And then the inner workings. We won't see much of that. This is sort of like a heart shape, and then you can do little veins. A little more pointy here. Okay, and then you can probably manipulate it to some degree. I'm just going to keep it really graphic. Just keep the main lines. I chose red because, like black, it's intense. Then it has a tiny, it's attached right here at the, and then there's just a tiny little stem. And we have a good representation of the leaves. We'll just do them in red as well. And coming off here maybe. And there's one down here. And cropping it off the bottom there is a good compositional device. And fill it in as much as we can. I don't know if Posca pen is what I'm using, is running out of ink here. It looks a little pale. And then the rest, you know, is you could do it negatively, you know, have a few indications, but we'll just do one more leaf. And maybe it's coming from underneath here. This has sort of little jaggedy edges. And we're just going to give it some color. Okay, so that's our orchid as far as we have it. Now we're going to print this. And while I set that up, Josh will maybe do some photography of the little Himalayan orchids, maybe with a bee or two if you're really lucky. So we finished the drawing and we're just going to put some white on here. I'm just using Amsterdam white. And we'll brayer it on. You can use medium, of course, but the thing is it takes a fair amount of time to dry. We're trying to just get this done. And of course, you know, the white will help with our contrast. And this way we can print right away. This is just cardstock. Wasn't that interesting? Strange effect. Because it's a liquid. I'm just going to give it a little bit more time. That's better. Okay, so here's our little orchid. And nice contrast. It's all good. So now I'll blow dry it, and then we're going to take a photograph of it, enhance it, do the negative, and then you'll see it at that point, and then we'll go from there with the cyanotype. Okay, so we're going to take out of this little black envelope and make sure you close it up tight. Our paper that's got the emulsion on it. Now we've taped our orchid, and we're just going to flip it over, make sure it's right over the image. Flip it and place it, and then we're going to put our little bulldogs on it. And according to Nitsa Malik, it's fine for the light to go through the paper. The image will transfer. So we're all ready set to go. We're going to put it under our UV light. It's going to be exposed according to our test strip. What was that, 1.5 hours? Yeah. Okay, so we will see you in a minute, actually. Okay, just to recap now, this was the original drawing. When you reverse it, you get this blue. This is on the paper. Now the first print we did was this one through paper, and then we stained it later with coffee and tea. And look at this interesting mottled background. This is from the paper itself because you're exposing it through the paper. Now it's a little underexposed. This was at 15 inches for 1.5 hours. Then we did the transparency, and again putting it on there and so forth. This was the result. Now the transparency picked up some kind of a fault up here, and it's here on the print, but I really don't mind it too much. Okay, so the image is actually like this, so that you can see these are the leaves. So great detail. Now this is through the negative. Okay, then when we did the paper, this is the paper that we did, and just put it on top of the Cyanotype treated paper. We had a great result. This is perfect. And what's really interesting, which I think Nitsa will be amazed at, is the paper. You can see how the paper is made. You know, all the different particles in the paper shine through. So, and this is that cyanotype treated paper from our Novang papers, and it washes really well. I'm not sure about the type of paper they used, but it's very stable, and you know, you can wash it and it's just fine. So it's a great image. This is the way it goes. So the great detail. So because we had used the test strip for exposure time, you know, it really helped us get some good images. So we had some great results, and certainly something to pursue in future videos. I'm not sure about the subject. Whatever strikes me at the time, I guess that's usually the way it is. So thanks for being with us today, and you know, watching this really fascinating photo process. And it certainly works well with the gel printing and probably all sorts of other things like drawing and more objects. It's great stuff. So take care of yourselves and your families, and don't forget to be kind to one another. Bye for now.